Hello and welcome to your Astrological Vibrations for Wednesday, October 8th, 2014 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and today I'm joined by Shannon and we are going to talk about this full moon, blood moon lunar eclipse that we are having today. So this is happening, the full moon is happening at 3:51 a.m. Pacific time. The lunar eclipse becomes ripe, I guess, full lunar eclipse happens at 3:56 a.m. Pacific. You will be able to see this if you're living, on the west coast of America, and I also heard Japan and Australia will be able to start seeing this after their after sunset there. East Coast, you may get to see like the beginnings of it. And the beginning here I saw was happening around 2:40 a.m. In the morning. So Mahalo had something to say about it. He wanted to throw that in. He gets riled up by these moons. So I was like, what's going on? Anyways, the full moons already herald a time of letting go of things. I always say they shine a light on everything within you. The moon is all about our deepest emotions, sometimes that are hidden away. But in the full moon, we can't hide from those parts of ourselves anymore. And the lunar eclipse part of it, this kind of brings additional change, beginnings and endings, transformation, rebirth. And I think the rebirth is really appropriate because that's what that's what we've been doing this year. With that Grand Cardinal Cross, which is kind of, some of that energy is reactivated in this, we have been bringing out the truth within ourselves, rebirthing ourselves as whole. And so today, I kind of am envisioning this as kind of one of those final pushes this year, as stepping into our truth, rebirthing ourselves into our truth. So aiding this, we have a grand trine in fire, and a lot of this is going to be exact today with this moon over in Aries. So we're going to have the moon actually conjunct Uranus right before the eclipse happens. The moon's going to be connecting into Mars, and the moon's going to be connecting into Jupiter. So behind this rebirth, we have this inspirational fire energy that's saying, go ahead, do this. It's igniting our willpower. It's igniting our solar plexus chakra that's saying, yes, I have this fire in me. I can step up. I can do this. And so this is helping us just embody our truth. Uranus and Aries, Uranus is already about innovation, revolution. We have Uranus days at Gaia Blooming. We call them revolution, evolution days because these are the days where we kind of level up. We let go of what's not working and step into a new kind of energy. And so this is happening. This Uranus is at 14 degrees, and this lunar eclipse is happening at 15 degrees. So they're right there with each other. And so Uranus and Aries is the sign of I am. So Uranus and Aries is helping us revolutionize who we are and stepping into that truth, allowing anything that is not that truth to fall away. And I've been saying this week too, peace. Sun in Libra. Libra loves peace. But ultimately, we find peace outside of ourselves. We find peace in the world when we can come to peace within ourselves. And peace within ourselves is at least acknowledging the truth within ourselves. It's the stopping of any oppression that we are doing to ourselves, any way that we're holding ourselves back from being our true selves. So if you can allow yourself to come to peace within yourself, come to peace with who you are, at least be peaceful about who you are, even if you're not ready to be like, here I am, world, but at least come to peace, like this is who I am. Admit it to yourself and embrace it within yourself. Then you're starting the energy of peace. I'm going to talk about the Sabian symbol a little bit later, but I wanted to mention that this at 15 degrees, this eclipse happening at 15 degrees, 15 degrees adds up to 6. So 6 is a Libra number. It is a Venus number. It is a number about balance. But if you break it down, number one connects into the heart, and the 5 connects to Mercury. It connects into our brain. So it's finding balance in our heart and our brain. And I think this is part of us stepping into ourselves, accepting it, accepting who you are in your brain, with your mind, accepting who you are and loving it with your heart. And this is part of us embracing our true selves today. Shannon?
Well, I just am so excited about this because I can just feel the energy of this eclipse. And the first thing I want to mention is because eclipses come in seasons, right? So if we think back to the solar eclipse in April. So let's think back to that time. Okay, the sun was in Aries. Now the moon's going to be in Aries. Back then the moon was in Libra. Now the sun's going to be in Libra. So we've swapped since then. And or actually, did I get it wrong? Was both the sun and the moon in Aries? Both the sun and the moon would have been in Aries. Okay, either way, my bad. Aries, let's talk Aries Libra, but let's just think back to, I apologize to confuse you, to last April, April 2014. Okay, we had a grand cross going on, we were stretching, we were starting this new chapter of our lives, and now we're wrapping up that chapter. So look back at that time, look back at this last 6 months. What's emerged? What's come to an end? Ask yourself these kinds of questions, and really today, or if you're watching this before the lunar eclipse leading up to today, find some sacred space, some sacred space or sacred time to get clear on this energy. Ask yourself. Also, the fact that Uranus is around, I have to bring in my Uranus analogy, which I love to say Uranus is electricity. So imagine what electricity does. It's revolutionary. It's amazing. If your power is out for 4 days, you're going to notice it. And when it turns back on, you're like, hallelujah, I'm so excited. So now imagine when the power goes out, right? It's a good thing. Power is a good thing. Electricity is good. It's for us. However, it can also be shocking. It can hurt us. If you are not a proper socket, if your socket is broken, it hurts. It's shocking. So what's the lesson here in this analogy? Let the electric energy of Uranus flow through you. Be with it. Join with it because it's illuminating. It's good. It's enlightening. Okay, and so it's in the sign of Aries, which is all about the individual you. Who are you? Who are you? What is being illuminated as who you are? If you let this Uranus energy flow through you, maybe it's going to clear out some darkness or clear out some things that maybe you thought you were or you thought you should be, but ultimately isn't who you are, and it will radiate your true self, your true authentic self. So, I mean, maybe this past 6 months, if we're looking back, or even this past year, this whole year, maybe parts of who you thought you were have fallen apart, or things you thought you should be have fallen apart. And now what are you left with? I think it's a really good time to just look, where are you at now? And embrace it and accept it. And I think, as Mimi was talking about the heart-mind connection, acceptance is a beautiful bridge for those two things. Because if you accept this moment unconditionally, you accept yourself unconditionally, your life, reality unconditionally, whatever you've created reality to be, then there's not really that much to think about, right? Or there's some, you could think about the potential there, but there's not going to be, at least in my experience, those criticizing thoughts because, hey, you've accepted it. With acceptance comes peace, like we said. And I think this is a huge, shift for the planet, as this whole year has been, while we step into our responsibility to dedicate this moment to peace, like we suggest at Gaia Blooming, that you as a human being have so much power. You're creating a reality all of your own. Okay, imagine this. So what are you creating? Are you creating a peaceful reality? Or are you creating a stressed out reality, a reality where there's not enough, or you have so much to do? Because reality is, if you're watching this, at least for many, many people, you're living in a peaceful country, right? You don't have bombs blowing outside your windows, and you have shelter, and you have warmth and food and water, and peace is what you've created. And so I invite you to acknowledge the peace that surrounds you everywhere this lunar eclipse. And when something maybe creeps in, maybe it's a thought of, oh, well, I should be a doctor or I should be a lawyer. Well, you could should all over yourself, and it's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help anything. Whereas if you embrace what is, accept it unconditionally. And again, I'm just reiterating what I'm saying again and again, because I'm really feeling that this is the main theme, because this is how we can let go of what no longer serves us as a collective and allow peace to bubble up in ways that we didn't necessarily know. Because again, Aries is the warrior, so there can be so much fighting and there can be so much war going on, and there is so much war going on. But we can look at it, we can feed our attention there, right? Where our attention goes, energy flows. Or we can look at the peace that's in our life, whether that's in a beautiful sunset or a crystal lake or an ocean or a beach or even a tree or a plant or a friend or a puppy or whatever it is that you're finding peace in, these little things. And it's about you as an individual. What brings you peace? What's special to you? Not necessarily out there, but knowing that when you put yourself first, you can then connect with everybody out there, because everybody out there is part of you. So that being said, I just want to quickly talk about the Grand Trine and Fire that Mimi mentioned, that this is almost giving us like that strength and that courage to do it, to be it. So say your reality is, to be authentic to yourself. You're not a doctor, you're a painter. Go for it. It's like this Grand Trine and Fire, this is special to line up with a lunar eclipse. Let go of that old life, because right now you have the drive to create the new. And even if that means letting go of life, of seeing yourself as a victim. It doesn't have to be like a certain role you play. It could just be a mindset you hold around a relationship, or a feeling of being trapped. Again, a full moon is always a time to let go. And I think the best way to let go is let your emotions come to the surface and just let them be. Feel it. If this is an intense feeling time for anybody out there, that's almost a good thing, because you're processing stuff. And I think another last thing I'm going to mention is, because Libra is about partnerships, know that you're not alone. Know if you're going through something intense, you can reach out to friends, you can reach out to trusted practitioners, you can reach out to counselors, you can even call a hotline, right? And just know that the divine has your back through your human brothers and sisters, and that we're all in this together. And if someone comes to reach out to you, be that peace, be that security blanket for them. And also just enjoy the ride, because it's a really exciting time to be alive on planet Earth.
Absolutely. So Shannon was right. The last eclipse was with the sun in Aries and the moon in Libra. And I don't know if you remember, Shannon, but we were kind of talking, back then there was like kind of that duality feeling of the I versus the we. And I think this is coming to a place of reminding ourselves now, like we've done that. We've had that duality. We've been there. And now it's coming to the singularity that there is no I versus we. There's us. We are all earthlings. And I think that, like what Shannon was just saying, reaching out, everybody's your mirror. There is no separation. We're all doing the best we can. So connect in and realize that you are connected and you are part of this whole. And I think that goes really well with the Sabian symbol for this. So the Sabian symbol for Aries, 15 degrees, is an Indian weaving a ceremonial blanket. And this is just talking about the act of our self-realization. Realizing the spirit, the divine, the holy. There's a reason why the word whole, even though it's not spelled that way, but why whole isn't holy. Because when we are recognizing our divinity, when we are recognizing our wholeness, we're recognizing our holy. And this is weaving the ceremonial blanket that we're all woven into. So there's no longer the I versus the we. There is the me, one unto myself, true to myself, one part, like one drop in this ocean. I also wanted to mention another thing. A viewer brought this up, that this lunar eclipse is the second in 4 blood moons that are actually happening on Jewish holidays. And apparently there are, in ancient biblical texts, there are references to signs in the sky, that this is bringing some kind of apocalypse, end of world, who knows, there's all those prophecies. I want to remind everybody that the word apocalypse just means revealing what is hidden, lifting the veil. And I think it's kind of interesting, this lunar eclipse, it's not actually a planet that's going to be blocking the moon. It's actually the shadow of the Earth that's coming over the moon and then revealing it in its whole light. And so this is kind of like what's happening with you. What is that shadow that you're carrying, that you're not allowing yourself to reveal your full light? Let that move on. You know, ceremonially, let it go with with this blood moon happening. Let the revelations of your true self, your truth. There is nothing shameful. There is nothing shameful. And so let those things go that you've been holding on to. Why you're a bad human. There's some quote out there that said, you know, if we were all to get together and share the things that we're most ashamed of, it would be so boring. Because the fact is, we all are carrying these things, and the fact is, if we got around and talked about it, it would be like, me too, me too. We're one. We're part of this whole. So, you know, there may be philosophies or, you know, theories about what this could mean with these Jewish holidays, and I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. I mean, everything's just really a theory. But for your own personal self, let this be your time of coming out as true, as one unto yourself. It's powerful energy for it. And I think all of us, as we do this, you know, step by step, with our Combrogos, which means companions, our friends, our earthlings, you know, everything that's on this earth, the rocks, the animals, the humans, our people, our peeps, you know, let's move forward into one and one unto ourselves all together. I mean, that I think is the heart of this energy. So, yeah, that's what I have to say. Do you have anything left, Shannon?
I just want to mention really quickly that this eclipse is happening at 15 degrees, and just for everybody who's following the astro, the final Pluto-Uranus square, which is going to be next March 2015, is also at 15 degrees. So this is like, and that these squares have been happening since 2012. So this eclipse is really, really powerful in a theme, a reoccurring theme of energy that's been present for a while, and really powerful for those of you who have been following us. This Pluto-Uranus square, everybody's feeling it for sure.
Very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this keeps unfolding. But rebirth yourselves with us. Have a beautiful eclipse. I hope you get to see it. If you're somewhere where you get to see it, I'm going to set my alarm clock and run outside. Probably like the last time I ran outside, every like couple minutes to like view it. Like, what's going on now? It's pretty. I like red moons. So enjoy this full moon lunar eclipse. And if you are struggling through it, come on down to Gaia Blooming, because we are always there supporting you. Namaste.
Namaste.